Well, hello there everyone, and I thank you guys for tuning in to yet another orchid adventure with me, Maria Young. Okay, now I know I have been gone like forever. Well, actually about a month, but that is quite a long time for me because as you guys know, I like to post videos on a regular basis, but folks, I've been kind of going through a couple of things here, there, and everywhere, and I really needed to get some personal issues in my personal life back on track, and yeah, just been going through it a little bit, but you know what, folks, I am strong, I am motivated, I am ambitious, so therefore, you know what, I move on, progress, and go forward. So here I am before you today in evidence of that, and I have to say I am so glad to be back with you guys because I missed you guys so did I mention so much. And folks, I am so sorry again, and I know there's a lot of catching up that I have to do, and since it's been quite a while for you and I definitely wanted to catch up on some things with my garden as well, and I have to say I even neglected them quite a bit. So I've been like working double time, really trying to get them back in order, but there's been definitely some projects and some things that I've rearranged and changed up in my garden, and definitely want to share some tips with you and some information about my orchids. So welcome to the tour of my orchids. Thank you very much. Okay folks, so I'm just going to briefly kind of go over some of the things that have been going on in my garden here. If you guys can remember correctly, I had such a big phenomenal cassava bush right here. It had a lot of green and white and yellow leaves, and it provided such a great canopy right here that blocked a lot of the sun from coming into this area right here. And now that that huge canopy of a bush is gone, now a lot of that sun is able to come right into here, and lucky for me it's only the morning light, and lucky for me the plants that are right in this section right here are really my high light loving plants, so it hasn't caused any major damages right here. As a matter of fact, these plants are all doing very well. And this right here is just the remnant of the cassava bush and also other plants that were knocked down in this area that I just really had to clear out of my garden. And yeah, this is the tragic evidence of the loss of such a great shaded area. Okay, and as we move down, as you can see here, now we have more of a clear space here. If you guys can remember, I had also cassava bushes at both sides. This right here hasn't done well. I kind of wanted to take this up, and I started to do so, and then I changed my mind and I decided to leave it here. But as you can see, the evidence of me kind of being harsh with this plant has really took its toll, and yeah, I don't think this bush is going to bounce back. And I also had another bush right here which was really healthy. Problem is that it really grew out so much where it was blocking a lot of this area, and it was definitely hard for me to get in here and really work where I needed to work. So indeed, I took that out as well, and now you're seeing a much more clutter-free space. Now also, as you guys know, in my video, or a couple of last videos, I don't know exactly where that was, but one of my videos I showed you this trellis right here, which I've included to incorporate some of my orchids, kind of to free up some space and also get my orchids up off the ground. And also I did the same thing here with this plant stand, which of course acted similar to the trellis, where it freed up some space, got my orchids off the ground, and provided a nice display area as well. And if we take a look over here, you're also noticing I have this little shelf unit right here. And also, same rule applies. I'm really just trying to clear up some space and provide my orchids with a healthier growing area. And also what I've done here, folks, is if we take a closer look, you will notice that a lot of my plants are being transitioned over into these clear containers, of which I've poked little holes in them for good air circulation. And I'm starting to do that with lots of my plants, just to give them also a better growth environment as well. I've also taken a lot of my orchids and I've propagated them and put them in the right size containers where they're not overly potted, because a lot of times that can cause damage to your orchid as well if you overpot an orchid, it's hard to really figure out exactly when the medium is dry and when it needs to be watered again, just because there's so much medium in there and so much room. So to cut that down to size, go ahead and make sure that you pot your orchids in a container that's suited for them. Of course, not too big, and of course enough space for the root system as well. And I've done that to these orchids here, and as you can see, they're all doing fine. And if we take a close look, you will see a lot of new, healthy new growths and also roots just really coming out. I have a couple of bloomers right here, very beautiful. These are actually my dendrobiums, and this one is a new one that I got. Now actually it's kind of a little bit spent now. The blossoms are beginning to fade, but as you can see, this is a very beautiful gal. It's white, but it also has trimmings of green as well, so definitely beautiful, beautiful orchid right here. This is the Dendrobium Liberty White, so definitely a beautiful gal. Also have this dendrobium, a miniature one, very small, very beautiful, and very beautiful. Sorry about that. Very beautiful and very dainty as well. And this right here is a pure white alba dendrobium. Very nice also. And if we take a look at a lot of my orchids right here, as you guys can see, they are doing very well and they are very, very healthy, even considering all of the crazy rain that we've been receiving. And I do have to admit that I have lost and had some fatalities here, and I have to say my condolences, because I do have a few orchids that did transition over into orchid heaven. Oh, such a sad thing. But you know what? The mission still continues. And hey, it happens, folks. It happens. And here, folks, I just wanted to share this with you because this was quite a pleasant delight right here on this Vanda orchid. I would say maybe about like 2 months ago this was in full bloom, but of course the spike has already died away. And look here, folks, another beautiful spike is coming from here. So this is the second time this has bloomed for me, so I am very delighted and very, very happy. And folks, I had a lot of orchid rescue projects this season, and I'm just really happy to say that all of my orchid rescues are still surviving and they are doing well. If you guys can remember, these are the 3 Vanda orchids that I did that deep hydration method with, and as you can see, they are all doing well. And if we take a close look, you will also see all of these crazy roots that are beginning to grow. And if you guys remember, I had to cut away all of these roots because they were all dead, and now you see them just growing wild and crazy. Definitely great news for us. And you can see these are definitely thriving and doing very, very well, thank you to the deep hydration method. And this right here is also a Vanda rescue. Actually, there's 2 of them in here. And remember, the roots were also dead on these ones. And as you can see, look, they are alive, well, and very healthy. And of course, we cannot forget my infamous Maxillaria orchid. And look at that, folks. Oh man, very, very healthy, doing very well. And each of the segments of my propagation have also taken root where they are doing well. And as you can see, each one of these has its new growth. So indeed, this is thriving, surviving, and very healthy. This right here is one of the Vandas that were in that community container, along with a Cattleya and also a Dendrobium, and they were all fighting in that one small container to survive. And as you can see, this one has actually its own home now, and it is also alive and well, and hoping in the next season this will show us its bloom, because I have no idea what type of Vanda this is. This right here is the Cattleya that was actually in that container as well with that Vanda that I just showed you. And this is actually the Dendrobium that was in there as well. And I had this in a container for like, I want to say 3 to 5 months, and they were just sticks, nothing but sticks, no foliage at all. And as soon as I was thinking of throwing them out, because I just thought that they were goners, look here, folks, when I pulled it out of the medium, I started seeing all of these new growths that were coming underneath the surface. So indeed, as you can see, they've grown now. And this was also that dendrobium that was in that container with this cattleya and also that vanda. So they are also alive and well. And this right here, the Encyclia alata, is also another orchid that was deeply in need of a rescue. I actually did not know if this was going to survive. And I used the deep hydration method to rescue this as well. And as you can see, it is surviving and doing very, very well. And if we move up right here, this is another rescue orchid. I rescued both of these at the same time. This is actually a Mabel Canda. And as you can see, she is also surviving and doing very well. And hopefully in the next season, fingers crossed, maybe we'll get a bloom out of these two. Okay folks, so although I do have many cattleya varieties in my garden, unfortunately this season I did not get a lot that were bloomers. I think maybe 2 to 3 cattleyas actually bloomed, but of course they weren't like a lot of blooms. So yeah, wasn't impressed with my cattleyas this season, but I'm not giving up hope. Next season folks, I'm gonna give you guys a whole lot of blooms. At least I hope so. Fingers are crossed. So for all of the orchids that did not bloom in this season, folks, I am not giving up hope because in this season they did grow a lot. So that means next season, folks, hopefully they'll be mature enough and they'll have enough energy to definitely give me some awesome blossoms for sure. And as you guys know, I have been thoroughly blessed with this tree right here because this has actually been a safe haven to many of my orchids, including my air plants and many other wonderful plants. So indeed, I am very, very thankful for this safe haven of a tree. And as you can see, I just have all sorts of orchids hanging in this tree right here. Of course, all of my variations of vandas. Also, if we take a look in the back, let's see if we can get a closer look. That right there is my Stanhopea. And if we take a look actually in the tree itself, we will see all sorts of orchids. Like this one right here is my Brassavola nodosas, and I actually have about 3 or 4 that are actually attached to the tree. And I have some Phalaenopsis that are actually in the tree as well. As you can see here, its root system is incorporated in this tree, along with some air plants as well. And here on the other side, you're also noticing some Brassavola nodosas here as well, growing right in the tree. Now they are attached, and if we move up also, you're going to notice right here, which is the Encyclia tempensens. And if you take a really close look, you're also going to see the Miss Jaquem orchid. That's the leaves that are a little bit piney right there, just growing naturally. Okay folks, and I don't know if you guys remember, but this is my monster cat of an orchid. And oh my, she has grown so much with lots and lots of new growth. I mean, she is absolutely humunga dunga. And when I say humunga dunga, I mean humunga dunga. I mean, this gal is so huge. And unfortunately, even though with all of the new growths that she gave me this season, I did not even witness one bloom. And trust me, I was just looking, and no blooms yet, folks. But I'm hoping in the next season, hopefully she'll be healthy enough and I will be fertilizing her and taking very, very extra special care of her in hopes of finally getting some blooms. Because indeed, I know it's going to be a magnificent sight from this monster cat of a cattleya. And for those that are curious to see how my cymbidiums are doing, well, here they are, the triple threats right here. They are alive and well and very, very healthy, folks. Although I will say I am contemplating on going ahead and repotting these, I don't know, just in better containers. It's just with all of the rain that we've been having, I just don't know how well they're doing in those pots, and I hate that I can't see into them. So yeah, it's driving me crazy. So I think I'm gonna repot this. Okay folks, and this has absolutely nothing to do with orchids, but all to do with what I love, which is fruits. And hey guys, look here, papayas. Can you believe it? I have actual papayas growing. Now this tree right here has been growing for, I want to say, about like 3 years, and this is my first time that it's actually growing me papayas, one of my most favorite fruits. So indeed I am excited and just wanted to share that with you. And also folks, if you remember these glamorous gals that we did a propagation on, this is actually Rose and Mary. As you can see, they are doing extremely well with all of their great root system. And also you are seeing the keiki coming from the middle and growing rather well. And also the other one right here also has its keiki growing in the middle as well and growing rather well. Also folks, extreme propagation done on this Phalaenopsis right here, where we cut this actually horizontally in half from top and also the bottom. So definitely, as you can see, they are surviving well, and I'm gonna do another video on these extreme propagations so that I have more time to really focus on what's been going on with them. Also, this one right here is my big girl Vanda, if you guys remember. She bloomed, and we also did a pollination on her, and as you can see here, we also did a propagation as well, cutting her in 3 different sections. So definitely she is alive and well and prospering. And again, to stay tuned on what's going on with them, I will be doing a specific video so you can see exactly the details on what's been happening. And now that we're coming upon the autumn season, I know a lot of you guys have been wondering, and some of you guys have asked me exactly how do I intend on keeping my orchids. I mean, am I going to keep these outdoors? Well, as you guys know, I do live in Florida, and we do have very short winters, and some don't even call it that much of a winter, but I will say we do experience some frost temperatures. So there are a couple of days or maybe even a week's time where we can experience very low temperatures. So that is always a risk here in Florida, even though we do have wonderful climate. But yeah, you know what folks, I'm gonna bold it out. I mean, I really am gonna take that risk, and I'm gonna keep majority of these orchids right outdoors. Now I've had this Vanda right here, and she's lived her whole life with me, like about 4 years outdoors, so she'll be fine. Now I'm not sure about my other Vandas, because of course it just depends on what variety they are, but folks, I am almost certain that they'll be okay. Now there are a couple of orchids, my most favorite ones, that I can't bear to lose or even risk even taking that chance, folks. And yeah, I may take those indoors. I just don't have perfect situations for me to keep my orchids indoors. Very limited space, and I have a very dark house. I don't get a lot of sunlight in there as much as I try. So yeah, I think they're going to be better off outdoors, and that's why I'm going to leave majority of these outdoors. So folks, fingers crossed with me that they do survive. Okay folks, and that's about it. I just wanted to take you through a brief tour of my little orchid paradise and my peaceful, very serene garden right here. I hope you guys enjoyed this brief tour, and definitely please stay tuned for more, as I will continue to post videos just for you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And of course, if you guys want to see more videos such as these, please stay updated by subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you guys want to also connect with me on Facebook, please be sure to do that as well, and you can do that at My Orchid Adventures. And of course, if you guys also want to contact me via snail mail, you can do that as well at the P.O. Box address right here. I thank you guys so much for tuning in to yet another wild and crazy adventure with me, Maria Young. Thank you so much, and love you all. Bye-bye.